NEU, Unite, PCS, NUM, and the prison officers. Have I missed anybody? Go on, shout if I have. Right, we've also got, I mean this folks in the city, folks. Some honourable MPs. Where are you all? Stand up, wave. How are you? Don't be embarrassed. There is still some hope. It's dwindling, but there's still some hope. Comrades, this is the 4th time we've done this dinner. Over the last 3 years, collectively, you've helped us to raise more than £30,000, which is fantastic. But if I tell you that to provide first aid at the gala this year is going to cost at least £13,000, and to provide the 78 portaloos, which you all might need at some moment in time, costs £9,500. So that's the scale of what we're doing and why we need to do things like this. It's the 139th gala on the 12th of July. We intend it to be another step towards the 200, which goes along after most of us won't be here. But it can only happen with the strength and the commitment of people in this room, the people you represent, the people you come from. So I can't thank you enough for what you're doing, and I can't stop saying you've got to keep on doing it. Because there's only one thing that'll stop the gala, and that's if we haven't got the funds. And I hate doing this. I know it might look like I'm enjoying myself, but I hate asking people for money, but I've got no alternative. So while I'm saying that, I'll ask you for some more. You're aware that we rebuilt the Miners Hall in Durham. £12 million project, which is 3 months late, going to be released in the 2 months, but when it does get up and running in the summer, it'll be phenomenal. So phenomenal, in fact, that it's in the last 8 of a competition to become a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And if we gain that, it'll be one of the few cities in the world that has 2 sites within a mile of each other. Durham Cathedral, built 1,000 years ago, and our cathedral, built 100 years ago. I'm really can't wait to see you all there, with your friends, with your family, with your comrades. We've got some great speakers tonight. We decided not to do the 2 rooms, and I think it's probably it'll cost us, but it's going to be easier to operate the night. And we haven't got any music unless anybody wants to sing or tell some jokes or whatever you want to do. We're going to start getting the dinner now, hopefully, if the times are going to go up to a fair, to the right time scale. We've got a lot of good auction prizes and some decent raffle prizes, and we've got some really top-class speakers. So enjoy yourselves, talk to your friends, talk to your MARRAS, keep on supporting us. Without you, the banners will stop going through Durham, but with you, they'll fly forever. So thanks very much. Again, the exciting part. I'm not speaking, it's not the exciting. My comrades, it's a great pleasure of mine to introduce a very old friend, a friend who has been friends a long time. Mary Foy, who is the MP for Durham, and Honourable Meg. Again, there you go.
Thank you. halfway through the night, but it's an absolute privilege for me to speak to you all tonight at this event, and welcome to everyone who's been there. Given those 4 years, welcome. And I have the great honour of being the Member of Parliament for the City of Durham. I just want to say it now because I think right in the speech. Thank you to my team who are here tonight for the City of Durham. Sparkling presents and everything, so they're off the tickets. Yeah, real privilege to be in the City of Durham, and it's the City of Durham that hosts the Durham Miners Gala, that takes place in my constituency every year, although some of you might know it. And it's fantastic that such a huge event, such a huge celebration of working class politics takes place in our community. And I want to pay tribute to the Durham Miners Association for maintaining the gala, even though the entire deep mine coal industry is being totally destroyed. And in particular, I think we should remember David Guy and Davy Hopper, who they ensured that the gala was rebuilt after the big strike of 1984, 1985, and after but of course it's not just about a few individuals. It's about the fact that the Durham DME, who are former and retired miners, and the women of the miners era, have helped to continue and strive to make the gala and the history of the Durham pit communities still in people's minds. And the gala today is a huge celebration for our movement. It's a fantastic day, and it's increasingly known nationally and internationally. And I'm presuming lots of you here have been to the Durham Miners Gala, if not you need to come along. So the reason we're here today, the work of the Friends of the Gala is vital to keeping Durham Miners Gala going. So this event and other events throughout the year that we have is to raise funds for the gala. But it's also there to raise awareness. It's to raise awareness within the communities, within the trade union movement, because without the support of the wider trade union movement, then the gala wouldn't exist. So I guess we're here for all of us tonight to ensure that you enjoy this evening cause, but that you support the MARRAS, the Friends of the Durham Miners Gala, and you support them with your donations tonight. Buy some more raffle tickets if you haven't already, and I'm sure there's some great prizes in the auction. But also, I think you need to take this issue back to your unions and make sure that we have Durham Miners Gala for the next 139 years. Thank you so much for your support.
Mary mentioned the great work that was done by the DMA, but the truth is, the MARRAS is our chairman, but the body of the MARRAS is the regional trade unions in the North East, and frankly we couldn't exist without them, so thank you for all these. I'm going to bring now newly elected Secretary, General Secretary of the RMT, I've asked Eddie to pass over messages on the mic. You talk about big footsteps to fill, but I'm sure this man can do it. Eddie Dempsey. Our union, the real spirit of it was really founded in 1911. We had a strike of all grades of railway workers and transport workers that started in 1911 on the docks. And a few years later, we founded in 1913 the first industrial trade union in Britain. And the second industrial trade union in Britain to be founded the next year was the NUM, and we've had a long history together. And in fact, the same people that founded our union and the people that founded your union were people that knew each other and were together and were part of the same political movement. They were involved in the 1906 strike in Ruskin. People from our union like Smiler Brown and Charles Watkins, Noah Rapid from yours, wrote the Miners' Next Step. And we've been through so much together over the years, 2 world wars, strikes in 1919, the general strike, right up to the miners' strike in 84, 85. Look, I was born in 82, so I don't have a great memory of it myself personally. But I do want to say this. What it means to me and my family, my father's people from a coal mining area in Ireland called the Deer Park. And in the 30s they founded their own union there, the Irish Miner Quarry Workers Union. And they went out on strike a few years later for 11 months. 11 months they went out on strike. And it was the NUM miners of South Wales who kept our people going through those 11 months. They looked after our kids. They sent money, food, whatever the people needed to keep them going in that strike. Now they shut the mines here sometime in the 50s. But my father, who's still going, he was a seafarer, and his people, they remembered the solidarity that they got from the mines. Though their mines were shut and even though they were very poor, they raised tears of solidarity that was shown to them almost a generation before. They were paying back the solidarity in some ways to ghosts. So when I was elected in my union to represent the workers of South Wales and the South West, the old Great Western Line, my father was delighted. For him, the miners, the NUM people of South Wales were gods, they were heroes. And John Leach, who was just with us here tonight, he's gone away, but we were reminiscing on the way up. He's got the receipts in his office. When we gave £500,000 to the miners during the 84-85 strike, and the legal advice we had to make sure we didn't take any money back, because we'd have been done for handling money that you shouldn't have had to give us back. And look, we've had our ups and downs, but the spirit of the NUM, industrial transport today in the RNT, so we've got in recent time. Respect to the ASLEF over here, our brothers, our sisters, to the MED, to the teachers. Thanks to the FPU and to Matt over there, who steered through a position in the TUC which was the most powerful, united position we've taken as a movement in many years against the minimum service legislation. And everybody who's here, from Unite and all the other trade unions. We stood together in a show of resistance in recent times that people think couldn't happen in the modern day. But we're still here. We're not going away. And for as long as there's people that want to take the piss out of the working class, we're going to still be here, we're going to carry on fighting. So we're very pleased to be here and support this event, and we'll forever be friends and supporters of Big League. Solidarity everyone. Cheers. Cheers. Find that hard to believe. But if other unions, and the real unions were not the only ones, but they were exceptional. If we'd had the same support across the piece, history would have been very, very good for this country, because we were having diligence. I never wanted to be on Comrade and I first met when he was working tonsils in the North East. I might be wrong, I think Andy was the very first person to win a case for sub-mariner. So somebody who worked even the Sarah Woolley MP. But a great asset to the movement when he came into Parliament some decade ago, you know about that, in Middlesbrough. So I can't say enough about this guy, but I will tell you that he's been working on this rights at work agenda, which shows that despite all the huge disappointment we've got in the new Labour government, there's still good people in there doing good work, and Andy's at the top of them. Andy McDonald.
Kind intro, and I bring to the friends of the Durham Miners Gala greetings from the deep south, from Middlesbrough. Well, it's a real honour to have been associated with the Gala for so many years, and while taxation over my time with my colleagues at Thompson, so I acknowledge their presence here tonight. It's a fantastic pleasure to be here. But I just want to say that, you know, as a lad from Teesside, you know, we're not a mining community, but the connections between us are absolutely solid. I mean, my town, you might know this, built in 1825 with one farmhouse, 4 dwellings and 25 people. And the only reason it grew to be one of the fastest growing towns in European history, the Gladstone coal, the infant Hercules, was coal. Coal coming down from the Durham coal fields to be tipped in the light vessels and taken to power this city. And we made that contribution to the growth of this country's economy. And then moving forward, again, coal was the catalyst, along with iron ore and the Cleveland Hills, to make that incredible story possible of iron and steel making. And so between us and our communities, we forged that industrial revolution with the shipbuilding and the bridge building. I just say this, Littleton's got a proud history of bridge building right across the globe. And we thought we'd give it a go at the start, as we thought we'll build the Tyne Bridge just as a bit of a toy, just have a little experiment with it, and then we'll do the real thing and build the City Harbour Bridge. That's what I did. And I tell you what, I've got to say to Ian Lavery, he's looking at me now, but the reality of it is, I know they're complaining because the thing's knackered now, but it was alright when I left the borough. But all of these industries, you know, there's one thing in common that we've got. Well, 2 people, Margaret Thatcher and McGregor. And when he completely decimated the steel industry, he was sent to screw over the coal industry, and we know that so well. But my association with the Durham Miners, I really am so pleased to have been exposed to it, and I see it at first quarter. And if anybody hasn't been, please go to Durham and just appreciate, you get a sense of what the coal mining communities brought, not just for themselves but for the country. The fact that they were there, bringing around education services, it's an incredible story, as is the strike of 40 years ago. And there's a lot of discussion going on about what it is that we should make sure is in the curriculum in our schools. And I think there's lots of subjects that we could have in there. Telling these stories is critical. If we don't understand and pass on our own heritage to our children, what chance have we got? And it's a proud story. It's a story of struggle and of great courage. You know, the fact that, you know, there's people here who went out on strike for an entire year. I'm staggered at that. The people that have the tenacity and perseverance and solidarity to do it, but it was done, and you can never ever lose sight of that. So I just want to say that, you know, those people who tell us that, oh, for God's sake, stop talking about the miners' strike, stop talking about Margaret Thatcher. Well, wake up. Despite the fact that she's long since dead, and no cheers, please. Come on, and for goodness sake, she lives with us to this day. We've got her presence right in this country all the time with the outsourcing and the privatisation. And let's hold me and my party to account, because we are going to embark on the programme of insourcing and generation, which is way overdue. And let's celebrate the fact that we've got this massive majority. People were sick to death of that, and we finally we've got our opportunity. And let's just look at it. The successes that we've had. Just today we're raising the national minimum wage. We're investing in our National Health Service and cutting the waiting lists as we promised. The Renters Reform Bill on Section 21's out of the window. You know, and we've got, dare I say, and I want to thank Jeremy Corbyn for asking me to take on the brief to nationalise the railways, and we've got to that provision right now. And I also want to thank Keir Starmer for asking me to take on the task of pulling together the New Deal for working people. I've got to tell you, it's the easiest task in the world to have 12 affiliate trade unions now. 12 affiliate trade unions in the room. You know, it's a double, trying to get them to agree. Piece of cake. Well, it was done. Believe that, you believe anything. But we've got it. And look, let's be frank about it. I had one or two little wrinkles to iron out with how this bill's progressed. I've tabled one or two amendments. But we have got a fantastic piece of legislation upon which we will build. And let's just think about how we are attacking the zero-hour contracts, the fragile, insecure work that we want to see. We've got the foot off the neck of trade unions so that they've got access to the workplaces. Recognition is easier than it was before. But I actually applaud what Eddie's saying. Wasn't it incredible under the most and rigorous trade union oppressive legislation that so many trade unions went through all those processes and were able to take their battle to the picket lines, and the solidarity that was expressed across the movement over the last 4 or 5 years and more has been utterly incredible. But you've got your reward in the changes that we've made. Now look, I know a lot of people in this room have got their anxieties about the other side of the coin in terms of the strictures that have been visited upon the people we hear, the MPs in the room are here to serve. And it is an anxiety. Let's have no bones about it. You know, when you're a Labour politician, you don't come into Parliament to make the lives of your constituents worse than they already are. And we've got to protect the poor and the vulnerable, and that's got to be our watchword as we go forward. So David, I'll shut up because I know you want other people to speak, but I just wanted to just finish with my thanks to the friends at Durham Miners Gala. It's been a joy to be associated with you. Those who've never been, you must go. It's the greatest weekend you'll have. But it is that expression of working class solidarity and the drive for better terms and conditions in the work and the compassion for those who can't. It's the greatest celebration of working class culture, and I recommend it to you. And in the words of the banner, the past we inherit and the future we build, and we've got to hang on to that and promote it with everything we do. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Sarah Woolley, who's been a great supporter of us from the beginning, Jeremy. Sarah? Oh, you like her, don't you?
Thanks ever so much for the invitation to speak tonight. And wow, I didn't realise there were so many people at that end of the room. I was asked to say a few words on the current situation that we're facing, and I thought, well, if I do that, you'll all be crying and nobody will spend any money tonight, will they? Because it does really feel like we're in the upside down, doesn't it, at the minute? For those of you that watch Stranger Things, you'll know exactly what I mean. We've got a fascist felon in the White House as the leader of the free world. We've got Reform having elected MPs. And we've got a Labour Party leadership, and I think it's important to make that distinction because we've got some fantastic MPs in the room tonight from the party, but we've got a Labour Party leadership that is attacking our elderly and our disabled brothers and sisters and family members. And it can be really overwhelming, can't it, for our members and our activists. They've lived through 15 years of austerity. We had the big strike wave a couple of summers ago, and some of our members and some of our unions are still facing the industrial action right now, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting living through 15 years of austerity, and now we're facing down the barrel of austerity 2.0. But we were promised change. We were promised something different, and this is by a party that's supposed to represent our class. But nights like tonight, and you know, I won't stand on my soapbox too long, we were the one that Andy mentioned that dropped out. But nights like tonight remind us, don't they, that in just a few months there's a special Saturday on the 12th of July that we will all be at, where many of us go to be reminded that we're not alone, that we stand on the shoulders of absolute giants in our movement, and that as a movement we are absolutely powerful when we stand together. And nights like tonight are also important, because we've got to make sure, and I know it's already been mentioned by the other speakers, but we've got to make sure that this gala is around to inspire and to empower generations to come, so that they can too touch base with our movement's history and understand it, where they've come from. Take absolute inspiration from it, and as many of us do, have it as the driving force of energy for the year to come and the battles that we're going to face, and do that energised. So, I'm not going to speak for too much longer because we've all got some drinking and some more spending to do. Spend what you can, have a great night, and keep doing what you're all doing best to represent your members, your constituents and our class in the movement. And if you're not already a MARRA, get yourself signed up. Thanks.
Okay, our final speaker is live. He might be on a bit of a high because his team won the World Cup last weekend. They should thought they'd won the World Cup and went the bastards to go on. But that's another story. How are you? Ian Lavery.
Hello, comrades. I just want to begin my contribution tonight by saying Liverpool won, Newcastle United 2. Come on! Comrades, I just thought I'd get that off me chest, because nobody else has mentioned it. It would be say as well, Howard, anyway. Comrades, it was fantastic last weekend, but listen, what a good night we're having here tonight. And I want to just say from the very beginning, there's a few red lines for me as a Labour MP, and that is, I'm not a former miner. I'm a miner. I don't come from a former mining community, I come from a mining community, and by Christ I'm proud to be from a mining community. That dispute in 1984-85 was basically the making of me as an individual, whether people like us or loathe us, and there's probably more loathes us than actually like. I'm not bothered, by the way. But again, another red line. You know what a proud individual I am. I was in Jeremy Corbyn's shadow cabinet. That man there was the best leader the Labour Party has ever had. And comrades, I was pleased to be the chairman of the Labour Party for 3.5, nearly 4 years. We had 650,000 members. Not bad, by the way. We're struggling a bit now, just under the 200,000 mark. Another red line for me as an MP. I can guarantee you there isn't anybody going to stop Ian Lavery standing on the picket line with other union members who are in dispute. And you know what was quite funny last week? We were in the employment bill and the debate, and me and Andy were sitting next to each other. And my amendments were to bring back secondary picketing. Well, I think listen, why? Why should ordinary working people not have the opportunity of supporting somebody else? A friend, a colleague, a worker, if they're in dispute? We've got laws in this country that prevents it. My amendment was to get rid of them laws. And what really upset us, because I get easily upset nowadays, the Tories were shouting, "You're a dinosaur, you're a dinosaur." In fact, my good comrade Andy McDonald got up with a point of order, and he said, "Point of order, Ian Lavery's not a dinosaur, man." And the speaker says, "That's not a point of order." I think I'm being a little bit liberal with the truth there. But to be honest, comrades, it's great to be here, and it's all about the Durham Miners Gala. It's about the MARRAS, it's about Dave and his team and the Durham Miners pulling together for what is the best day of the year. When I say the best day, you know, I've got 364 days better than the Durham Miners Gala, because each of them days I'm looking forward to the Durham Miners Gala even more. So I love the occasion. I've had the privilege of speaking there 3 or 4 times, which is something else, by the way. But last week, 2 weeks ago, was the 40th anniversary of the return to work of from the miners' strike. I was heartbroken. It was hard. I was heartbroken. Anybody who took part in that strike, anybody who supported the miners, and everybody in here did, would be heartbroken. I was with my father, my brothers, and we marched. You know, I keep thinking we were proud. We were extremely proud to think of what we had went through during the previous 12 months. And we were like, please, we were getting back to work, because we had absolutely nought. We had nought. We fought the good fight, and I mean properly, mind. We fought the good fight better than most would ever do, and very proud of that as well. But to think that we're going back after a year and we hadn't really won the strike, we hadn't, and we didn't, because there's not a pit working left now. And I remember it very, very clearly. There was tears. People were very upset. And we agreed that we were going back to work, not the next day. We got on the piss the next day. They'd gone to work the following day. And I'm not being very, very serious here. And everybody joined. Everybody went on the drink for a full day. And what a day that was! Probably one of the best days of my life on the drink, with the workers, with the class, thinking about what we had done, reminiscing about the times where you had been knocked out by the police, all the times where you had knocked the police officer out, and whatever it might be. And allegedly, but there were really great times, and we've got to learn lessons. It's 40 years ago from the strike, and what I learned was a whole lot of things: discipline, solidarity, companionship, courage, determination, passion, compassion, but solidarity with our colleagues. Strange, you know, seeing people who you work with crying, tears running down their eyes because we're heading back to work. And that all went through my head. My father's sadly passed on, my mother sadly passed on, and the women played a great role during the miners' strike, a fantastic role, never to be forgotten, a big lesson to be learned. Whenever you've got a dispute, make sure the women are there with you, and they were tremendous, women against pit closures, but also other people, other women, right throughout the movement were absolutely tremendous. So comrades, I just think that we were on strike for a full year. If the strike was still on yet, myself and my family would still be on strike now, 40 years on, because we're right there, and we are right now. It's been proven. And what we got really, to really remember the miners' strike, to remember the mining industry, remember friends and colleagues, lots of them who sadly passed away, is the Durham Miners Gala. It's a fantastic, fantastic event. And every year, you know, we gather in that wonderful city of Durham, and the bands, the banners, the speakers. And the speakers I've seen at the Durham Miners Gala, Dave, over the years, they've been utterly tremendous. You know, Scargill, Skinner, Bain, Bickerstaff, among the rest. Absolutely wonderful. And the fact that we get together as a family, 250,000 people, you know, get together as a family. We might not all agree, in fact we probably all disagree on lots of things, but We get together, we have a drink, we have speeches, we listen to the fantastic brass bands, we watch straight for another year. I'll be with you, lads and lasses. I'll be on the picket line with you, lads and lasses. No danger there, I'm not bothered whether I'm an MP or whatever. Second reaction, I don't give a toss. I'll be there with you if the situation arises. And Scargill always said, he said that the miners' strike was very difficult, but the victory was in the struggle itself, and that's something which I'll always believe in. So thanks very much, all the very best. Solidarity, comrades.
You look and see people and you think these are ordinary people who've done extraordinary things. And if they did it 100 years ago, 150 years ago, we can do it today. And that's the spirit we take forward. It's also the spirit that's helped to rebuild the Miners Hall in Durham. People built that hall in 1915. They didn't have the vote. Some of them couldn't read or write. Well, they built a building that became a parliament which was making decisions. We created a mini welfare state long before Beveridge or anybody like that, because nobody else was looking after old people. When a man got old and left the pit, he was hired out of his house. I go live with his family. So we built aged miners bungalows in 1890. We built welfare halls, we built sports fields, we built libraries, we built institutes, and that was ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And that's what it's all about. We can only keep on doing it with your help, comrades. So, again, thank you very much. And now we're really going to screw you, because Ian Mearns is going to start doing the auction, and then we're going to have the raffle after that. So, thanks very much, kids. Cheers.